presentation is to support the funding opportunity Preparing for Future Clean Air Challenges, Interdisciplinary Research and Innovation Consortia. A PDF of these slides will be available on the NERC website alongside this presentation, so you'll be able to use this PDF version to access any links within these slides. My name is Bethany Adams. I'm a Senior Programme Manager within NERC's Healthy Environment team, and you'll hear from me today during this presentation. So this presentation is going to go through the Strategic Priorities Fund, an introduction and background to the Clean Air Programme, the Clean Air Champions, Clean Air Waves 1 and 2, and then the funding opportunity Preparing for Future Clean Air Challenges Consortia, including ambitions, timeline, core scope, proposal requirements, knowledge exchange and impact, eligibility, application process, assessment process, and also the capital idea proposal. Funding for the Clean Air Programme is provided through the UKRI Strategic Priorities Fund, which has been set up to build upon the vision of a common research fund set out in Sir Paul Nurse's independent review of the research councils. The fund will drive an increase in high quality, multi and interdisciplinary research and innovation, ensure that UKRI's investments link up effectively with government departments, research priorities and opportunities, and ensure that the system is able to respond to strategic priorities and opportunities. The Clean Air Programme is jointly delivered by the Natural Environment Research Council and the Met Office, with the Economic and Social Research Council, Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council, Innovate UK, Medical Research Council, National Physical Laboratory, Science and Technology Facilities Council, Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, Department for Health and Social Care, Department for Transport, Scottish Government and Welsh Government. This call is being led by NERC on behalf of the funders. NERC is part of UKRI, where UKRI work with the government to invest over £7 billion a year in research and innovation by partnering with academia and industry to make the impossible possible. Through the UK's 9 leading academic and industrial funding councils, we create knowledge with impact. Atmospheric pollution in the UK is responsible for approximately 40,000 early deaths and has a cost of around 20 billion to health services and businesses per year. The UK is entering a transformative period in air quality as transport, heating, energy, solvent use and agricultural emissions change. Most of the easy wins to reduce particulate matter, volatile organic compounds, ammonia and nitrogen oxides have already been implemented in the UK. Future improvements will require innovative solutions underpinned by new research to protect the health of society whilst pursuing clean growth and increasing national productivity. This programme aligns with a range of government policies, including the DEFRA Clean Air Strategy, Clean Air for Scotland, Department of Health and Social Care, Prevention is Better Than Cure, Department for Transport, the Road to Zero, and the Clean Air Programme by the Welsh Government. The programme is delivered through 2 waves of investment. The first wave, Clean Air Analysis and Solutions, focuses on developing solutions to air pollution to help policymakers and businesses protect health and work towards a cleaner economy. The second wave, which is where the funding opportunity for consortia comes under, is about addressing the challenge of the indoor-outdoor continuum. The programme aims to equip the UK to proactively tackle new air quality challenges related to changing emissions and exposure patterns in order to protect human health and support clean growth. And you can see on this slide the partners for Wave 1 and for Wave 2. The Clean Air Programme is supported by the Clean Air Champions, who provide leadership and visibly advocate for the programme, build an integrated programme community through facilitating and maximising links across the funded programme portfolio, and with other UK and international efforts as appropriate for the programme, and enhance knowledge exchange with a range of researchers and stakeholders, including inputs to the policy process for greater impact. We have 3 champions, Professor Stephen Holgate, Professor Martin Williams, and Dr. Jenny Baverstock. For more information about the Clean Air Champions and ways to get in touch with them, please see the UK Clean Air website link on this slide. The first wave of the programme supported multidisciplinary research and innovation to stimulate solutions for clean air through predictive understanding of future air quality challenges, a systems approach to analysis, new technologies and innovation policy and practice interventions to benefit vulnerable groups, improve public health and support clean growth. Wave 1 is expected to drive forward new multidisciplinary research and innovation, leverage existing UK investments and enable a challenge-focused multidisciplinary community to work together for the first time, inform implementation of the Clean Air Strategy, and develop new solutions to reduce emissions and protect public health whilst avoiding perverse consequences. For more information about the activities supported through the first wave of the programme, please see the Clean Air website. The second wave of the programme focuses on indoor-outdoor continuum of human exposures across air pollution. This means we're focusing on the way people move between spaces within their daily lives. And the outdoor-indoor interface can be observed in a range of settings such as home, school, work, public spaces, as well as public transport. And we're looking at the way people move across that interface, not treating that interface as a barrier. The scientific, technical, behavioural and policy approaches used to assess and manage exposure to air pollution will need radical change to reflect this indoor-outdoor continuum of exposures. In future scenarios, looking at the 2020s to 30s and beyond, measures to improve outdoor air quality will take effect, and concentrations of larger primary particles may decline. And as such, managing human exposure to the very smallest airborne particulate matter and the complex mixes of volatile organic compounds are likely to grow in health significance. Indoor environments are very heterogeneous and so hard to regulate, meaning many reductions in emissions and exposures indoors will largely need to be delivered through changes in behaviour, product standards, and better urban planning and design of our indoor spaces. Therefore, there will be an increased importance of indoor exposures, and it will no longer be effective to attempt to manage public health impacts solely through controlling outdoor sources. The overarching aim of the second wave of investment is to support new interdisciplinary research and innovation that will equip the UK to tackle emerging and future air quality challenges in a proactive way. The knowledge and solutions generated will allow us to act now to secure clean air and protect health by avoiding locking in potential future issues and unintended consequences, such as increases in volatile organic chemicals, fine particulate matter, and ozone that are projected to occur as other types of air pollution fall. The second wave of the programme is expected to build a new UK interdisciplinary community to address research challenges across the interface of the indoor-outdoor air quality through collaboration between wider disciplines and stakeholders, including environmental, social and medical sciences, engineering, economics and health. Deliver new knowledge that provides critical foresight on emerging air pollution challenges and associated health risks and impacts, and enable an increased understanding and quantification of human behavioural change and practices in order to develop and assess interventions that limit harmful exposure to mitigate the negative health impacts of individuals most at risk. Provide consistent, evidence-based policy for stakeholders through open data and tools in order to stimulate policy and regulatory innovation. Stimulate business-led innovation for sustainable products and services to protect health across the indoor-outdoor air quality interface and grow UK businesses. The programme will deliver through a portfolio of activities, including through the recently commissioned networks to build interdisciplinary communities, and the funding opportunity that I'm going to talk about today, which is the Interdisciplinary Research and Innovation Consortia, to generate new knowledge and tools to influence policy and regulation. There will also be business-led innovation led by Innovate UK and investments led by the Met Office for the delivery of further research related to outdoor and indoor air quality health impacts and the continued development and extension of the Clean Air Framework. In addition, there will be activities led by the Clean Air Champions to coordinate and integrate activities across the programme and to maximise the impact of the larger portfolio. The programme has recently commissioned 6 new networks to build interdisciplinary communities to address air quality challenges at the indoor-outdoor interface. The 6 networks supported through this call are shown here, and they include Indoor-Outdoor Bioaerosols Interface and Relationships Network, BioAirNet, Air Pollution Solutions for Vulnerable Groups, Clean Air 4V, Breathing City, Future Urban Ventilation Network, Tackling Air Pollution at School, the Health and Equity Impacts of Climate Change Mitigation Measures on Indoor and Outdoor Air Pollution Exposure, HICAM, Optimising Air Quality and Health Benefits Associated with Low Emission Transport and Mobility Revolution in the UK. The networks will build interdisciplinary capacity and stakeholder links in these different areas to provide a legacy. Consortia do not have to align with or build on these networks, as this is a separate call. However, it might be helpful if your consortia proposal is in a similar area as one of these networks, to think about how those stakeholder links could be leveraged to enhance the overall impact of your consortia project. So I'm now going to talk about the funding opportunity around the consortia. All the information opportunity. And as I said, this call is separate to previous funding opportunities within the Clean Air Programme, including the networks. So there's no requirement to be a part of a Clean Air Programme award in order to be able to apply for this funding opportunity. The aim of this funding opportunity is to support solution-focused interdisciplinary consortia in the area of indoor-outdoor air quality interface, which will deliver new knowledge that provides critical foresight on emerging air pollution challenges and associated health risks and impacts, and enable an increased understanding and quantification of human behavioural change and practices in order to develop and assess interventions that limit harmful exposure to mitigate the negative health effects of individuals most at risk. The funders, we have up to 10 million available to support approximately 3 to 4 consortia at 2 to 3.3 million each for 4 years, with awards expected to start on the 1st of September 2021. The timeline for this funding opportunity is available here, and I'm going to go through the various stages in this timeline in more detail within these slides. As per the scope of Wave 2 of the programme, in future scenarios looking at the 2020s to 30s and beyond, measures to improve outdoor air quality will take effect and concentrations of larger primary particles may decline. And as such, managing human exposure to the very smallest airborne particulate matter and the complex mixtures of volatile organic compounds are likely to grow in health significance. There'll be an increased importance of indoor exposures, and it will no longer be effective to attempt to manage public health impacts solely through controlling outdoor sources. Indoor environments are very heterogeneous and therefore hard to regulate, meaning many reductions in emissions and exposures indoors will largely need to be delivered through changes in behaviour, product standards, and better urban planning and design of our indoor spaces. These trends, expected over the next decades, will bring about a different range of air quality challenges to the ones we are facing today. These trends will have an impact across the indoor and outdoor interface by affecting both indoor and outdoor air quality, how indoor air pollution affects outdoor air quality and vice versa, and how people experience air quality as they move between indoor and outdoor spaces throughout their day. This interface can be observed in a range of settings, such as at home, school, work, public spaces, as well as public transport. Additionally, the emergency public health measures to contain the COVID-19 pandemic have offered a glimpse of this low carbon future, with varying effects on pollutants, such as a sharp drop in NO2 pollution 2 weeks after UK lockdown, but with no consistent reduction observed in fine particulate matter over the same period. The traffic component of PM2.5 will have reduced with a reduction in traffic, so an understanding of the relative toxicity of different particle components remains crucial to understand public health impacts of future particle levels. Epidemiological studies, whilst having shown important health impacts of fine particles, have shed little light on the relative toxicity of indoor or outdoor particle components. The scientific, technical, behavioural and policy approaches used to assess and manage exposure to air pollution will need radical change to reflect this indoor-outdoor continuum of exposures and to avoid unintended consequences of these drivers for change. There are 5 main objectives that this call seeks to address, and further details about each of the objectives can be found in the announcement of opportunity. The 5 objectives are understanding and characterising indoor air pollution and its influence on outdoor air quality, understanding the toxicology and health effects of future exposure and emission scenarios, understanding airborne biological materials and their impacts on health, influencing behaviours and practices related to emissions and exposures, interventions in the built environment. Across the funded portfolio, we are anticipating elements of these 5 objectives to be addressed, but individual consortia do not need to address all of these objectives within their project. However, we're not expecting to fund one consortia per objective. We are expecting consortia to cut across more than one objective in this list. Proposals are expected to define an interdisciplinary challenge that aligns with the call scope, including the 5 objectives I just talked about. A proposal should propose a consortia and programme of work that demonstrates how it will achieve a step change in our levels of knowledge and understanding of the subject, articulates how the new knowledge and solutions will protect and improve human health through the provision of clean air across the indoor-outdoor interface, proposes interdisciplinary approaches and draws appropriate expertise from across diverse academic disciplines and wider stakeholders, demonstrates co-design between academic research and users, such as including those from across healthcare, policy, practice, industry, third sector and the publics as appropriate, and leverages in-kind support to deliver transformational change, demonstrates commitment to delivering impact with clearly described mechanisms for influencing policy and practice, which are responsive to the challenges of a rapidly changing landscape. It is expected that consortia will deliver new knowledge, insight, capability and technology to enable us to understand and answer the critical emerging air quality challenges and the associated health impacts facing the UK population. It's also anticipated that consortia will translate this new knowledge and innovation to support and inform government policy to reduce emissions, improve public health, influence behaviour and develop infrastructure. Proposals which focus solely on indoor or outdoor pollution alone are out of scope. The aim of consortia and of the Wave 2 programme of work is to address the indoor-outdoor interface and challenges of air quality across that interface. So the intention with this call is to consider the continuum of exposures to air pollution that individuals and groups experience as they move indoors and outdoors throughout their day through private and public spaces, such as homes, schools, hospitals, work and transport. Consortia proposals are expected to justify individuals or groups that are most at risk, which their proposal focuses on. Those most at risk may include, but are not exclusive to, individuals and groups at vulnerable stages of the life course, with established disease and or those disadvantaged by inequalities. This call is focused on air quality issues of relevance to the UK. International perspectives can be included where they add useful insight to UK issues, but research focusing exclusively on air quality issues in other countries is out of scope. In order to inform this call scope, UKRI held 2 events at the start of 2020 to facilitate scoping, and a report from these events can be found on the NERC webpage for these workshops, which is provided at this link. So knowledge exchange is vital to ensure that environmental research has wide benefits for society and should be integral to any part of the research. If you are successful, your consortia will form part of a wider programme of activities and a wider portfolio. So we will be expecting all funded projects to engage with programme-wide knowledge exchange and activities, such as working with the Clean Air Champions or taking part in programme-wide events. Therefore, consortia should include funding to support travel to attend one UK-based programme event per year. Eligibility. Firstly, I'd like to re-emphasise this call is separate to previous funding opportunities within the Clean Air programme, including the networks. There is no requirement to be part of a Clean Air programme award to apply for this consortia funding opportunity. The call is open to UKRI eligible research organisations and public sector research establishments which fit the below criteria. If you are a public sector research establishment and you've not previously applied for UKRI funding, you will need to complete an eligibility form, so please email Avril Orman at the earliest opportunity to discuss your interest in applying. Standard NERC rules apply about eligibility for PIs and COIs, but NERC is leading this call on behalf of the funders. So all funders are involved and all disciplines supported by UKRI are welcomed and encouraged to apply. Any Met Office or MPL collaborations should be recorded as project partners, and individuals from these organisations will use their own funds to participate in consortia activities. Investigators may participate as a COI or a PI in a maximum of 2 proposals submitted to the call, and only one of these as a lead principal investigator. We have had a couple of questions. This call is not subject to NERC institutional demand management, which applies to our discovery calls. The limits on the proposals is that you cannot be involved in more than 2 and only 1 as a PI. There's also no limit, maximum or minimum, on the number of participants which can be involved in a proposal, including the number of research organisations represented in the consortia. Proposals should clearly justify the resource requested and the participants and makeup of the research team within their proposal. To facilitate collaboration and ensure prospective consortia have expertise needed, we are providing a mechanism for applicants to share expertise offered or wanted. Applicants to the SPF Clean Air Consortia call who require additional expertise or skills and/or individuals or organisations who'd like to offer their expertise can apply through a brokering system, which you can see on the NERC webpage where this AO is and this presentation is. Anybody who applies to that brokering scheme, the information will be made public and is available on our webpage. You can click the link on this slide. These details will be used by individuals to independently make contact and discuss involvement in prospective applications. This won't be facilitated by the Clean Air Secretariat. It's a resource for the community to use as they see fit. So this is the consortia timeline. I'm going to run through the various application stages and what to expect at each point. So the call launched in July, outline proposals open on JES on the 23rd of July, and the next step is the notification of intent stage. So notification of intent should be submitted via the NOI form, which is found on the NERC webpage, and the deadline is the 3rd of September at 4 p.m. Outline JES proposals submitted without a prior NOI will be rejected. Notifications of intent are not assessed. The information is used to help us plan the assessment process. You should note that you'll receive an automatically generated email when you submit your NOI. You will not be contacted by the Clean Air Secretariat. If you think you have submitted an NOI and you do not receive an automatically generated email, please do get in touch with the Clean Air Secretariat at atmospheric@nerc.ukri.org. Following your submission of your NOI and your automatically generated email to confirm receipt, there'll be no other action and you can just submit your consortia outline as per the JES process. So the NOI stage, it'll ask you for your PI, and this may not change between NOI and outline stage. There is space for up to 10 COIs on the NOI form. As I said, there's no limit on the maximum or minimum people who can partake in a proposal. So if you have more than 10 COIs, please just list the main 10. We understand that COIs may change between an NOI and an outline stage, but as we use this to help plan our assessment process, please do let NERC know as soon as possible if there are any significant changes to COIs. A project title, again, we're conscious that this may change between the NOI and the outline stage, so please let NERC know if you have changed your title. Please tell us what your title was, who the PI is, and what your new title is. An abstract or a summary of the project. This is the spirit of the project and it cannot change between the NOI and the outline stage. Specific wording may, so long as the spirit stays the same. There's also a section for you to suggest potential reviewers to the Secretariat. This is not compulsory to complete, but it is helpful. So if you have some suggestions, please do add them in. So the outline stage will be used to identify projects that will be invited to submit a full proposal. It will close on the 15th of October at 4 p.m. and only one proposal is submitted by each PI to cover all consortium parts. The outline proposal form should include the expected COIs and their research organisations. If your outline proposal is successful and you are invited to submit a full proposal, then some of your COIs may become leads on component grants and therefore will not be on the lead grant at the full proposal stage. So, at the outline stage, the call will close at 4 p.m. and on the 15th of October, and it will not be possible to submit to the call after this time. So you should leave enough time for your proposal to pass through your organisation's JES submission route before this date. Any proposal that is incomplete or does not meet the eligibility criteria of this call will be office rejected and will not be considered. So the outline stage, you will be asked to provide a completed proposal form and a case for support. The case for support should be no more than 4 sides of A4 and should include objectives and anticipated outputs, outline of proposed consortium programme of work, composition and experience of the research team, role of the project partners and co-funding. Please indicate if it's proposed and secured. Please remember that no CVs or project partner letters should be submitted at the outline proposal stage. Outline of project management plan, outline of data management plan. It'd be helpful if you can please briefly identify data sets likely to be made available for archiving, proposed use of any UKRI facilities, equipment to be requested, and the expected NERC contribution required. This is equipment associated with your consortia proposal and is separate to the £500,000 capital idea proposal, which I'll talk about in a minute. Research organisations are required to make a contribution towards the cost of any equipment, and this is expected to be at least 50% of the full economic cost. You can also include references in your case for support. In addition, there is a space for an additional half a side of A4 about the capital idea proposal, which I will come to on later slides. So, only full proposals which have been invited by the funders following the outline stage will be accepted. The full stage will close on the 25th of February and you'll be informed about whether you're being invited to submit a full proposal following the outline panel in November, and the contact should be in early December. Proposals for the full stage should follow the NERC large grant format, which you can see here, and also include an ethics form if you're planning to use animals or human participants in your research. Additionally, if you wish to include a proposal for the capital idea up to £500,000, this proposal should be included as a separate attachment, and it will be up to 2 sides of A4. So I'm just going to run through the assessment stage. So any outline which fits the basic requirement of the call will be assessed, and it will be assessed by an assessment panel who will shortlist those that will be invited to submit a full proposal. Outline proposals will be assessed on likely fit to scheme and potential for excellence. This is a managed outline stage, and the funders will consider the overall balance of science needed to deliver the programme in making decisions about which outline proposals are progressed to the full proposal stage. Funders may require modifications to the proposed programme of work as a condition of progress to the full stage. That will be made clear to you and discussed when we contact you in December to let you know the outcome. You'll also be given brief feedback from the panel summarising the reasons why your outline was successful or unsuccessful, and no further feedback will be available. All proposals invited to be taken forward from the outline stage which meet the eligibility criteria will be submitted at full stage. Full stages will be peer reviewed, including an expert interdisciplinary panel. Proposals will be assessed on fit to scheme and excellence. The expert panel will consider the appropriateness of the requested resources and the effectiveness of the proposed management structure and plans for those proposals that are considered fundable. Applicants will be invited to the expert panel to give a presentation and answer questions from the panel to assist the assessment process. We will try to give you notice of this as early as we can, but please be aware that we are planning for that expert panel to be held in early June 2021. Applicants will be given feedback from the full stage panel summarising why their proposal was successful or unsuccessful, and the funding recommendations made by the expert panel will be made to the SPF Clean Air Programme Board, who will use a portfolio approach to ensure the breadth of scope is addressed. The funders will use the recommendations of the expert panel alone with the overall call requirements and the available budget in making final funding decisions. For more information regarding NERC assessment criteria fit to scheme and excellence, please see the link on this slide. So, in addition, as part of this call, the Clean Air Programme has capital funding available of up to £500,000 to support the delivery of the Clean Air Research Programme and to provide an underpinning clean air community resource. If you are applying to the consortia call, you are also invited to include proposals for a capital idea up to £500,000 as an additional document to your consortia application. It is not compulsory, and you do not need to submit an idea if you do not wish to. Your idea should contain how your capital idea would support and add value to the consortia proposed programme of work and the wider community. But your consortia proposal should not be reliant on successful capital idea proposal funding. Capital idea proposals should be scalable and should indicate what could be achieved with varying funding amounts. And you should be aware that your funding for your capital idea proposal might be successful, but the funding amount might be lower than £500,000. The funders also reserve the right not to fund any capital ideas through this opportunity. So, to submit a capital idea proposal for £500,000, at the outline stage, in addition to the 4 sides of A4 for the case for support, you can also add half a side of A4 as a capital idea proposal, and the AO talks about how to submit that document on GES. As I said, that outline, half a page, should summarise how your idea proposal would support and add value to the consortia proposal programme of work and the wider community. In addition to a high-level estimation of the full cost and the percent being requested from the funders. Research organisations are required to make a contribution towards the cost of any equipment, and this is expected to be at least 50% of the full cost. If your consortia application is successful and you are invited to the full stage, you may also submit a full stage capital idea business case for the £500,000. At this stage, you'll have up to 2 sides of A4, and you'll be asked how the capital idea proposal would support and add value to the consortia proposed programme of work, evidence of an evaluation of the use of existing relevant capital assets, and cite the full cost of the equipment, confirming the percent being requested from the funders, and provide confirmation that the remaining funds have been secured. Research organisations are required to make a contribution towards any of the costs. So again, this would be 50%. If you are successful and you are awarded a capital idea proposal, the funding should be spent by the 31st of March 2022. So that's the end of this presentation. We've addressed some of the frequently asked questions we've had in as I've gone through, but we are also providing a frequently asked question document to accompany this presentation, which we will continually update if we receive more questions in.